Hey Irish, come on into the green room. Welcome to the very first episode of the Shamrock Newspaper's official podcast. My name is Solano.
And my name is Sophia Yi. Throughout the year, we will have guests from all over the campus to give their discussions on sports, arts, and more.
For the first episode, we asked you all to submit some of your hot takes on academics and pop culture.
And our guests will give their opinions on your submissions.
Now, without further ado, let's get right into meeting our first guests.
Let's welcome our guests. Hi, my name is Prisha.
Hello, my name is Brett.
And our first section of hot takes will be academics. Now, our first hot take is that AP tests are a scam. If you take dual enrollment, you can earn guaranteed college credit. Brett, would you like to speak on this hot take?
Yeah, sure. For me, I do a lot of stuff in my personal life, so I'm busy all the time, and I just don't have time to enroll in college class. It's at 5 p.m. or is online at like 6 p.m. I was in football earlier this year, so I wouldn't be able to do it then because I'd have practice. And now I also work, so I just don't have time to do that after school. I can really only do these classes during school time.
Prisha, would you like to add on to that?
All right. In my opinion, I don't think dual enrollment can replace the rigor you get from an AP class. I have taken online dual enrollment classes before, and personally, I thought that they were way easier than the AP classes that I take now. And also, oftentimes, many colleges don't accept dual enrollment credit. So it really depends in my opinion. But overall, I don't think dual enrollment can replace AP classes in terms of rigor and just learning.
Brett, would you like a rebuttal or?
Shoot. No, I feel like it's a good point, but I feel like also for many who don't do a lot of stuff in their free time, it is a good substitute to try to get a college credit out of the way, especially if I think in a lot of cases from what I heard, it is easier than an AP class. And, for those who just going to a nice state college, it's a good choice, I think, for many of those people.
All right, we can move on to our next hot take. Our next hot take is essays are better than tests. Prisha, would you like to start us off?
All right. I mean, it can be good for people who I guess just, have a very sort of creative and open mind. But I mean, personally for me, essays don't really do it because sometimes I might get stuck. And I feel like MCQs and all those type of questions, they can help sort of guide you towards what you should be answering. And I feel like essays just, I don't know, they stress me out way more than a typical MCQ would.
Brett, your opinion?
My difference is, personally, I also like tests a bit more just because I'm more of a math and science person. But I do feel like there's a lot more stress taking with tests and essays. I feel like I could go into an essay and be able to work my way through it fine. It may be more work while I'm there because, again, I'm not the best writer or reader. But tests do take way more hours of preparation beforehand with studying and preparing.
Prisha, anything to add?
I feel like essays are harder than MCQ. Like Brett said that in a way, essays you can work your way through it, but I would say it's harder because you would have to memorize more, and I guess it just depends on the way your brain works, maybe.
Okay, good one to end off on. And our final hot take for academics is teachers shouldn't expect us to do work over the break. It's called a break for a reason. Brett, would you like to start us off?
I don't think there should be any required assignment to do over break, but I have had classes in the past where there's extra credit opportunities given over break where you can do a certain activity or report on a certain thing. That will give you nice extra credit and to do over break, and it kind of keeps you updated with the class because it is 2 weeks off, which is a long time, so you may forget a lot of stuff. So staying involved is important. So offering extra credit could help, people stay connected with the class.
Prisha, your thoughts?
I 100% agree with that take. I mean, typically, my teachers, they don't assign any extra work anyways. And I'm sure they don't want to grade that work during break as well. It's break for a reason, especially Christmas break. I want to spend that with my family and my friends. I don't want to be stuck doing homework. So I 100% agree with that take.
Brett, would you like to finish us off with anything?
Nope, I think I agree with Prisha pretty well.
All right, thank you guys so much for coming on to our podcast. That concludes the academic segment of our hot takes. next segment of Hot Takes will be on pop culture. Let's introduce our next guests.
Hello, I am Brooklyn.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
Our first hot take will be about, honestly, anime isn't cringe and childish. It's literally just Japanese cartoons. It's like saying if you watch SpongeBob or Family Guy, you're cringe. Plus, it's other people's culture. What's your opinion on that?
Me personally, I don't really think it's cringe because I believe like people should just be allowed to like what they want to like. And I believe if you're kind of making fun of other people's culture and like calling it cringe and stuff like that, I think you're honestly kind of the cringy one. Honestly, making fun of anime in 2024 it's outdated, bro. You can stop.
Brooklyn, would you like to say your opinion?
I would never make fun of anybody for watching anime. It's just personally, I don't watch it. I haven't, but then again, I can't really have an opinion on it because I haven't really taken the time to go out and watch it or take any time to really look into it. But I would never make fun of anybody for watching it, but it's just not my thing. So, yeah.
Would you like any?
Yeah, I wanted to. Out of curiosity, is there any like specific reason why you haven't like at least researched it or looked into it a little bit?
I just don't. I don't think. I mean, of course I could in the future, but in the past I haven't really found any want or need to watch it.
Okay.
That's just.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, just like a normal TV show. I mean, I just think it's because they went in a different direction because media like. Animated media in the United States is typically more aimed towards children, but I think in other countries they often use it like for adult media as well, which I think that's like kind of why it's more interesting. I think it allows the ability to tell different stories. That's why I like it. Yeah, I think that's
Our next hot topic will be Hollywood is running out of ideas for films with constant sequels. They need to actually bring new ideas that fans want or something genuinely constructed. Well, while some sequels do work, if done wrong, the flavor is lost. Brooklyn, would you like to start?
I actually do agree with this a lot. I feel like Hollywood is honestly running out of ideas. Like, obviously, one of the biggest movies in the past 5 years just came out this year, Wicked. That's a musical. Like, you just took a giant stage musical, the Broadway musical, and you put it onto a screen. Not saying it was phenomenal, I will say that. But I feel like Hollywood is running out of ideas. People are just taking things that have already been done. Everything that's coming out in 2025 of Disney is a sequel to something that they have already done. There is nothing new that is coming out, and if anything, they're just remakes. Like the question said, it really is just all remakes of everything that has happened, that has been released in, the past couple decades. So it's kind of sad, honestly.
Would you like to add an opinion on that?
Oh yeah, for sure. It kind of makes me angry as like someone who like loves cinema and stuff like that. It really like annoys me that we can't come up with any new ideas. A big thing I want to point out is like Moana 2. That one really made me angry because that was supposed to be a TV show originally, and then they changed it into a movie to make more money, and then it was one of the biggest box office openings for Disney ever. So that makes me mad. But I do want to point out like there are movies like Smile 2 that like do a great job of carrying on the plot without it just being a cash grab or a repeat of the original. And I think that's like where sometimes sequels, if they are needed, they can do well, but for a majority, like 90% of the time, they don't do well enough. They're not creative enough.
If I could chime in, Aaron, you gave an example of a sequel that did well. Brooklyn, do you think there's any sequels that Hollywood did well that carried on the movie well enough to where it just wasn't just a cash grab, like Aaron said?
Give me a second to think of that. I can think of one that didn't do well. Can I just there are too many Toy Stories now.
Oh, I don't like the Toy Stories.
I think 1, 2, 3 was perfectly enough. I love Toy Story 3. Andy went off to college, but why was there a fourth one?
Did we need a Toy Story 4?
We didn't need a fourth one. And if I'm not mistaken, there might be a fifth one. Unnecessary. But no. And talks of maybe a Tangled sequel. I don't know, and I'm not sure if you have an opinion on that or how you would feel about that. I just think that movies, if they are already perfect as they are, there's no need to touch them ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, one of my favorite movies as a kid was, like, Cars, and, like, I love Cars. But then, like, they came out with Cars 2, and let's be honest, that movie was really bad. It sucked. And then Cars 3 came out, and it was a little better, but it still sucked. And it's just, I think they just need to make new ideas, because I think it's the fact that they want to cash in on nostalgia, and it's not the fact that they ran out of ideas. It's just, I think it's lazy writers not wanting to put in the effort into making something new. Because when they do make something new, sometimes they create like a classic. Like Moana a few years ago was a classic that they created, and then they just kind of fell back into their old slump and they made a sequel. And it's really a bummer.
Yeah, it really is.
Thank you for your opinions. The last hot take is that Taylor Swift is overrated. Would you like to?
I would love to start. So I am a big Taylor fan. I'm sitting next to one as well. I saw her twice on the Eras Tour. I went to the very first show in Glendale. And I saw her on the fourth night in LA. And it's spectacular, to say the least. She is an amazing performer. I think that her music is absolutely beautiful. Like, everything that is written by her and produced by her, it's gorgeous. She has such talent, which I can appreciate so much. And I feel like it goes unseen by the people who just see her as the girl who wrote Shake It Off. You know what I mean? And she's so much more than that. And I think people need to realize that, especially after her, taking her own music. That's what these Taylor versions are, if you didn't know. But I think that she is truly phenomenal at what she does, and I do not think that she is overrated in any way. I think that she is popular, and I think that people choose to hate on her because she is so big. They just see that, oh, well, she's just this big figure, so it won't really, it doesn't matter if I hate on her. Obviously it won't hurt her at the end of the day, but it's just, she is very good at what she does, and people don't like that. I feel like they find it threatening, but still, I love her. She is an amazing person at everything that she does. So I'll just let you hop off of that.
As we heard Brooklyn's opinion, do you have anything to say about Taylor Swift?
I'm kind of on the opposite end of the table. I'm not really a Swiftie. I don't really like Taylor Swift that much. And honestly, when she mentioned Shake It Off, that's kind of the song I think of whenever I think of Taylor Swift. I'm a big fan of a lot of her old stuff, and actually which I might out myself here, I kind of like some of her country stuff too. It's kind of cool. But I think when she started skyrocketing into stardom, I think that's kind of maybe when for me she kind of went off the rails. And like she said, it's fun to hate on popular stuff. But I guess it's just her music genre isn't really for me. I mean, I like a lot of different stuff. I like a lot of different genres all across the board, but I've just never been able really to get into her. And it's not because I have a hatred or a vendetta against her. I guess it's just a lot of people who make that type of music, and I don't know, maybe I don't relate to it because I haven't I'm a guy, and I haven't been through a big breakup or stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I guess that's just I guess maybe that's why I don't really relate to it as much. But I mean, I think her whole thing is that she cashes in on relatability, to people. And yes, there's a lot of talent there, and I'll give her that. But I think a lot of what she does is relatability.
Okay. Can I ask you something?
Yeah, for sure.
So you said that you know her from her country stuff and her, pop-ish stuff. I'm assuming 1989, which is Shake It Off and just
yeah, a lot of the older.
The surface level, right?
Yeah.
So she does not only make music aiming towards girls. There's a lot of variety with her music. If you just go throughout the years, the spectrum is crazy. It's so wide, and she hits. You're right. You're not wrong in any way about the relatability aspect. However, it really hits all the bullet points that you would see in society. There's so much that she is reaching out to. And if you really listen to her words, she's talking to everybody with her music. And it really is, it's so, every word that she writes down, it's so heartfelt. And it to take the time to listen to her it's a gift. I'll tell you just straight up, because everything that she writes and produces it's from her heart, and she's really aiming it. I'm just going in circles now. Aiming it at everybody.
Out of curiosity, there's a lot of artists who do the same thing. What makes Taylor Swift special in this instance? Because there's a lot of artists among many genres of music that speak a lot of different topics. What makes Taylor Swift special in this instance?
I feel like her variety of music. She has there's uplifting songs. There's the country. She has, obviously, everybody has Christmas. But she has those slow songs, you know, like Folklore is an album that I absolutely adore. And every single one of those songs on that album is so, it's etched to perfection, like truly, because that is why her variety is so big. But I personally, and I could be wrong, again, this is just my opinion, I don't know of an artist whose spectrum is that wide. And of course, artists can have a spectrum, truly. But I think that what makes her stand out is because the spectrum is so wide.
Okay, so she does it better than kind of most other artists that you've ever heard.
In my opinion,
yes. That you've at least heard.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I'll accept that. That's fair.
I also would like to point out, I do like there is sort of a connection between the anime hot take and the Taylor Swift hot take, in the sense that Brooklyn said she has never taken the time to watch anime, and Aaron said he has never taken the time to listen to Taylor Swift. And I think that's just a connection that needs to be pointed out. And I think that you guys should both give both of those things a try, because you should broaden your horizons, because you never know. You could find something that you really like. I think that, like, maybe there's an anime show that is for you. There's lots of different genres, and there's lots of different genres of Taylor's music. Not that you have to be a big super fan or anything, but there is a lot of songs that you can connect with, like, even as a guy. Like, there's, just as an example, one of my favorite songs by her is called The Archer, and it's just about, like, the feeling of anxiety that a lot of people feel on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's just a beautiful song, and that's just one example of, like, a song that is for everyone and not just for her main demographic, which is obviously teenage girls. But
I do have a question for Aaron. After hearing Brooklyn's opinion, did it change your perspective a little bit about Taylor Swift?
Changing my perspective, as in, like, I still, like, I don't mind her music. I never, like, was a hater, but, like, I mean, yeah, I'd be more willing to give it a try. I mean, you know, I'm really pretty open to everything, honestly. I'm willing to give it a try. I like all types of music, so I'd be willing to try it.
Thank you guys for your opinions on this section of A Hot Take. Thank you so much for listening to our very first episode of our podcast.
be sure to be on the lookout for more podcast episodes coming to you soon. If you want to see more of The Shamrock, follow us on Instagram at the JFK Shamrock and visit our website, thejfkshamrock.com. We would also like to thank Shamrock Newspaper staff reporter Annalise Crossland for creating our theme song. And with that, the door to the green room is now closed. Thank you for listening.